Hi guys, Ashley here. Welcome to another episode of Ashley's Digital China. We are getting our shopping bags and carts out for today's video because we are talking about the 618 Shopping Festival. Some of you, in fact, might be wondering why China's got so many online shopping festivals, both old and new. Well, for the Chinese e-commerce giants, the pool of potential new consumers is shrinking month after month, forcing them to compete for existing consumer spending. Alibaba's monthly active users, for example, on retail markets reached 925 million in March 22, which is roughly 94% of the country's total netizens. Or Pinduoduo, they had more than 720 million monthly active users by the end of the first quarter this year, while JD is lagging behind a bit with approximately 500 monthly active users on a yearly basis. Well, tech giants, in other words, don't have much choice but to invent and improve ways to attract and increase consumer spending. Now, back to 618. Firstly, the roots and history of this holiday. The holiday originally started as a large-scale promotion of Jingdong, JD. It was its anniversary on June 18th. So JD.com started it in 2010 in response to Taobao's Double 11 launched a year earlier, in order to both celebrate and of course boost sales during June and November, which are, both of these periods, admittedly low seasons in e-commerce in China and the globe. So today 618 is not just limited to JD. Since it started, other e-commerce players such as Tmall, Kuaishou, Douyin, and even Momo are also offering 618 sales in addition to the Singles Day celebration in November. 618 today is massive. It is China's second largest e-commerce festival right after the famous Double 11 as mentioned, and annually 618 is valued at around 2.4 trillion US dollars. Do note, though, that 618 is celebrated over an 18 days period. Well, in fact, sometimes even longer, up to 1 month. And as you will see later today in this video, much unlike the Double 11, which for years was a single mega shopping day on November 11th. And after some consideration, Alibaba has just recently adjusted 11/11's promotion period to, so right now it is collectively celebrated over 2 to 4 weeks time. So why do Chinese consumers love 618? As in most cases, discounts and best price guarantees. Indeed, starting early May each year, Chinese netizens are bombarded with online promotions promising billions of dollars or yuan in shopping coupons, best price guarantees, and even refunds if they find better prices somewhere else online. Most Chinese consumers follow 618 to snatch those exclusive daily consumption vouchers and red packets, which are cash discounts that are both released by platforms and brands. So what sells most during 618? Well, in 2021, the average GMV of the festival reached 578.5 billion yuan. Home appliances, apparel, beauty products emerged as the top trends for the festival. The year-over-year growth of the festival was about 26.5% from 2020. And in fact, home electronics accounted for the largest by far trend, led by very often small home appliances. And these home electronics was at 824 million yuan, followed by 742 million yuan for smartphones like Huawei or iPhone, and 680 million yuan for clothing, apparel. Beauty products and items such as bags and shoes generated in 2021 521 million yuan and 462 million yuan respectively. Famous brands are dominating the festival, and for example in electronics and home appliances, famous brands such as Midea, Apple, Haier, Gree and Xiaomi were a massive hit with the public. The festival itself is a giant when it comes to its revenues as well. People expected a dip during the 2026-18, but it turned out there was nothing to worry about. While 2021 outperformed 2020 again, JD.com reported that their sales in 2021 garnered a total of 53 billion, this time US dollars, which is significantly higher than 2020's 37.9 billion US dollars. So, who takes part in it? There are a lot of brands, local and international, that participate in the festival. In 2021 alone, JD recorded 30,000 additional brands. And for Alibaba, that number was 250,000 additional merchants and brands also who signed for the first time for the 618 festival. So how can international companies benefit from 618? Well, because it is such a big Chinese e-commerce event, very few international brands can afford to miss the fun. More and more Chinese consumers, of course, are switching to domestic, local brands when it comes to specifically, let's say, consumer electronics or apparel or F&B. But luxury foreign brands such as YSL and Louis Vuitton still reign supreme during 618. Besides that, other companies, for example, Prime Day, Walmart, Target, also receive a mega marketing exposure during sales festivals such as 618. Beyond just sales, it's very important to understand that it is probably even more important that 618 allows brands and merchants to make themselves known to the people living in less developed regions of China, who represent 70% of country's population. During 618, stores cut their prices up to 50% to get more sales, higher online store ranking as well, and of course reach new consumers. Sales during online festivals rarely produce positive financial results for brands, but the heightened demand in the next 2 to 3 months after the shopping festival often makes up for this. All brands are hoping to get that return customer and return sales. These shopping festivals focus netizens' attention on spending. JD.com said that over 480 brands on its platform experienced an increase in transaction volume of at least 500% on June 1st compared to the same day last year. Do note, though, that sales do not equal cash. On some platforms such as Tmall and Jingdong, 30 to 50% of goods sold during shopping festivals are consequently returned by customers, as China generally follows a free return policy online. So, in other words, out of 10 sold and shipped products, 3 to 5 will be returned back to the merchant, and these returns are mostly done at an expense of the brand. Besides, online sales growth is slowing due to intensifying competition as new players and platforms such as Douyin and Kuaishou are joining the game. So for both platforms and merchants, it is becoming more and more difficult and costly to grab the attention of consumers and drive sales during average normal days and of course shopping festivals in particular. So if you're looking to enter the 618 this year, here are some things for you to consider. First, invest in concentrated digital marketing efforts on Chinese social media. It is an important part of a regular Chinese consumer's life because it gives access to life's necessities as well as communication, discovery, community, and more. So social media is the key. Yes, you need advertising on e-commerce platforms, but also you need to support it with a lot of social advertising, community, content, promotions, and more. Use official tags to highlight products and selling points. This maximizes your product's exposure and makes the audience take a second look. Also, allocate 30 to 50% of your ad budget on your chosen few platforms. You can't be everywhere. There are too many platforms, both social and e-commerce in China. Choose wisely. Are you primarily focusing on Tmall or JD, or Douyin is more important for you this year? And also, when it comes to your social community, what and who do you want to activate exactly this year for the products that you have to offer today? Big spenders typically allocate more than 80% of their ad budget to their one most important platform. Keep that in mind. Second, sell on mini programs and sub-applications, for example, in WeChat. Yes, use WeChat ads to incentivize consumers. Beauty brand Makeup Forever has launched a lot of coupons on WeChat Moment ads last year and this year as well to give exclusive gifts, packages to their patrons and consumers. So mimic some of those promotions. Make sure that you sell beyond just major platforms. And of course, third, use KOLs and KOCs. So in other words, key opinion leaders and also key opinion consumers, as well as other influencers. Your influencer metric is extremely important. You need to use your biggest stars for major shopping festivals, and you complement them with an army of smaller bloggers. So it's very different strategy versus your regular posting calendar and marketing in China. Since Chinese internet users are very active online, KOLs are effective, very effective in swaying the public opinion regarding sales and products, as well as they are crucial when it comes to discovering new products and deals. Lastly, consider pet food, beauty products, and electronics. They are the top trends for foreign brands in China today, and in 2021, these three showed the highest growth categories among foreign brands, with pet food jumping up 400%, beauty products 180%, and electronics 110%. Aptamil from Germany, Estee Lauder from the US, A2 from Australia, Nintendo from Japan, and Kuaishou from Korea are among the top foreign brands for 2021. You can partner and cross-promote with brands from popular categories, as well as use some hot topics and themes, such as glamping, for example, that is trending these days, to bring traffic to your product. So what are marketplaces doing this year for 618 then? Remember that for marketplaces, 618 Shopping Festival is not just about sales and getting the new consumers. The e-commerce platforms themselves aim to follow the latest trends. Product trends, promotion trends, consumer journey trends, technology trends that could be valuable in adjusting their strategy for the second half of the year. On Taobao, for example, consumers receive coupons and games and sweepstakes if they watch the live streaming channel. Alibaba said it has allocated 700 million yuan in consumer giveaways on Taobao for this year's 618. JD.com not only offers shopping games and special offers, but also entices shoppers with bundled offers of, for instance, vitamins or tea bags or steam food baths, because these products are trending. Meanwhile, newer players such as Douyin and Kuaishou are joining the battlefield with games and promotions and trendy products and services. So what's special about this year's 618 when it comes to the platforms? Let's look at JD.com as an example. Well, JD.com will kick off its 618 grand promotion this year on May 23rd under the theme, ready for this? Responsible supply chain. The festival will last until the 20th of June, offering an array of innovative services, JD says, upgrades on the technology side, and green consumption promotions. So, supply chain is of course paramount for Jingdong. Another thing is consumer-centric services with new features and even better algorithms. And of course, all of that shall be done responsibly. Why? Because green is becoming the new big story for Chinese tech giants since a couple of years back. So talking about green, by the way, this year for say Jingdong has announced its Green Impact Initiative to promote sustainable consumption throughout the supply chain. So starting from this 618, there will be approximately 1 million products on JD labeled green, making it easier for consumers to find and make sustainable choices. Brands such as P&G, L'Oreal, Nestle, Panasonic, and many more are already on board. On top of the green product selection, most Chinese tech giants are also working on greener packaging, greener delivery, greener services, giving back to community, and much more. Unlike previous years, this 618 for Jingdong is promised to be small. No, not in terms of sales, even though, due to COVID lockdowns, China's economy isn't at its best, and both online and offline sales have dropped significantly. But small in terms of the focus on smaller businesses. This year's festival is friendlier and more focused on SMEs. Again, according to Jingdong, the festival aims to help them improve their input-output ratio by at least 20% to boost sales, some platforms report. A new version of the JD app will be also launched on the eve of 618 with a more user-friendly interface. Jingdong is planning a new environment for brands to reduce costs reduce the assessment, reduce risk, and optimize the rules and efficiency and services. New merchants are also encouraged to join Jingdong Logistics this year. They can get a discount for the first 3 months of delivery until the 31st of May. JD Retail is also promising to be friendlier for SME merchants by reducing their operating burden and increasing ROI by at least 20% during the 618 Grand Promotion. This year, 618 is likely to be dominated, by the way, very importantly, by the live broadcasts. JD is providing merchants with marketing tools needed for live streaming. In fact, merchants can set up a virtual live anchor now on JD for free. Jingdong is also inviting an army of KOLs and more than 300 celebrities and executives from more than 600 brand partners for their grand promotion or for live streaming. KOLs are best used for short promo videos, and more than 1,000 professional KOLs are invited to share their thoughts on their favorite products and prepare recommendation lists and more. But what to do if you are very new when it comes to online or live streaming selling? Well, Jingdong has you covered, it seems, because it's been recently announced that there will be a 24-hour business school training available on their platform. Enough on Jingdong, let's move on to Alibaba. Alibaba's pre-sale will start on May 26, and the first wave of goods will be available on May 31st. Discounts announced are going to be 50 yuan off for every 300 spent. As a comparison, last year we had 30 yuan off for every 200 yuan spent. Tmall is also ensuring that their merchants can complete their 618 registration quickly at once online and for free, trying to attract again new brands and merchants to join in the fun. This year Tmall divided their 618 into 3 phases. The first one, from 31st May to the 3rd of June, is titled Tmall 6.1 Open Door. So obviously it's all about initial promotions, offers, and explaining the rules of the game. This second stage will run from June 4th to 13th and is titled Tmall Category Day Festival, and it will focus on, as explained, promoting various product categories such as snacks, cosmetics, luxury, home appliances, and more. And the last stage is titled Tmall 618 Celebration Day. It will run from June 14th to June 20th, and it will be the wrap-up of this year's event. How about Douyin? Well, Douyin's 618 Good Things Festival is focusing more on great customer service and quality products. This is the guarantee that they give to their customer. So only quality merchants are approved to join the fun. Customer-centric practices are a plus for Douyin merchants, so businesses need them for event admission. For a business to be allowed on Douyin, it must have a good history of selling products with original and cultural value. And in fact, this is exactly the focus of this year's 618. Quality products with cultural and artistic value, with themes on city treasure hunts and book adventures. Yes, now you know a lot more about 618 and how it is celebrated by platforms, merchants, and consumers in China. So this is it for today. Thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me. Stay tuned for the next episode of Ashley's Digital China coming soon. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video with your friends. You can also check me out on LinkedIn under Ashley Dudarenok for your daily dose of China business insights. Meanwhile, I'm sending you a big hello from my European holiday location. This time it's France. And as always, have a great week ahead. Stay tuned and I'll see you next time.